All right, brothers and sisters, this is your business manager, David Carranco. I'm here in Austin, Texas, at the Capitol, where we're here for the Texas State Association of Electrical Workers annual convention. The year is 2025. Today is April the 16th, and we just got back from the Capitol. I'm sitting here with our president of the Texas AFL-CIO, Rick Levy, and with our secretary-treasurer, Leonard Aguilar. And what I want to do is I want to ask him questions about the current events that are not only going on in the state of Texas with labor issues, but with the events that are going on in the whole country with labor issues. Well, first and foremost, as business manager of Ibew, we came to talk about issues such as, PLAs, project labor agreements, Davis-Bacon prevailing wages, and registered apprenticeship programs. That's why we're here today, to advocate and to defend these things that help working class citizens, union, non-union. If you're a worker in the community and you're out there doing construction work, these policies and laws directly affect you. And we want you to be informed, well informed about these policies that directly affect you and directly affect your families. So with that, President Levy, what do you think about us and us having to be here, having
Let's
to
go.
be in defense mode about,
Let's
PLAs and
we're not in defense mode, brother. We are on the move here.
Yes,
and let me
sir.
just say, first of all, thank you for being up here. Thank you and your staff and your members for taking the time to come up here. We're here every day. We're here right across the street from the Capitol. And, we're over there and they get sick of seeing us every day. We're over there hammering the same message day after day. But at some point, they're like, oh, here come the labor dudes. When you show up and you bring your voice to the Capitol and you're face to face and they know they have to come home and talk to you when they're through here, it lands in a completely different way. And the fact that you all would take your time to come and be up here and take time from everything else that you have to do to make sure your voice is heard over there is a really powerful thing, and I appreciate it. So thank you for that.
Sure.
There's a lot going on here. We'll get into it. But for your listeners to know, the Texas AFL-CIO is the umbrella organization for all the different unions in the state of Texas. So it's the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, it's the teachers, it's the bus drivers, it's the truck drivers, it's the firefighters, it's all of us under one umbrella. And our job is to be the voice for all working people in this state, whether they're union, whether they have the privilege of being a union, or whether they just haven't had that privilege yet but are going to get there soon. Make sure that the voices of workers are heard over in the Capitol. You're never, as you guys saw today, when you go over there, you don't have to elbow your way into being the one that speaks for working people over there. There's plenty of people in really nice suits and, fancy ass shoes and all that, and they're here representing the people that pay them a lot of money to do it. We're here making sure that other people have a voice, and when you come and add to it, it's a big deal. So thanks for being here.
Glad to be here, President. Glad to be here, President. So another thing that we definitely want to discuss, is the fact that there is a bill right now that is being discussed in committee, House Bill 1951, where they are. I mean, there's no secret about it. They are directly attacking organized labor and with PLAs and the registered apprenticeships and Davis-Bacon.
It's not just attacking organized labor. It is literally trying to cut people's wages.
Yes.
Literally trying to cut people's wages. This is a state government, and I'm not like, y'all can look this up, that filed a lawsuit when the federal government tried to raise wages for contractors, for all federal contractors, to a minimum of $15 an hour. This governor and this attorney general literally filed a lawsuit to take away even that minimal gain for working people, because they're here. Look, they're here to represent the people that put them here, and that's not us. Over there right now, what they're trying to do is to make it illegal for local governments, school districts, county commissioners, city governments to have project labor agreements in their bids for construction work. So we all know that a project labor agreement is the most efficient way to get a job done. It's a way to ensure that when public money is being spent, the workers actually benefit and not just the contractors.
Correct.
And so we they're literally trying to make it illegal for local governments to say we want to help the working people. Just like last session when Austin and San Antonio and Dallas passed a regulation that said that construction workers had to have a damn 10-minute rest break in the middle of the heat. They came back here and they passed a bill that made it illegal for local governments to even require a basic thing like a 10-minute rest break in the heat of the Texas sun.
The Death Star bill.
The Death Star bill. And so what we have here is we have a state government that is actively hostile and basically taking the side of the employers in every fight. And we understand that employers need to be successful. Hell, we don't have jobs if employers aren't successful.
Exactly.
But our thing is workers need to be able to share in that success. And through our skill and our training and our work, we need to make sure that we're at the table too when the benefits get passed out. They're trying to make it to where that's not the case. And I'll just say that they use every trick in the book. Like I would get, no offense to your listeners. Are we watching or listening?
Both.
No offense to our watchers and our listeners. But I would bet that most folks have never heard the kind of stuff that I'm saying right now about what this state government actually does, because they hear so much about immigrants and they hear so much about what bathrooms you use, and they hear so much about this and that. And all that is to take your eyes off the prize of what they're really doing, which is lining the pockets of the people that put them there. Right. So it's up to us as workers to make sure that we tell the truth about what's going on, that we don't let them throw anybody under the bus, any worker under the bus, whether they're an immigrant worker, whether they're male, female, transgender, whatever they are. Every worker deserves to work in dignity, to be able to support their family, and we're going to fight for that every single day.
Yes, thank you again, President Levy, for answering our questions. So another thing that we do back at home is me, David Carranco. I also sit as the president of our building trades, the South Texas chapter. And one thing that I've come to find out that is very vital for us to be very involved in is with the Texas workforce. And I wanted to talk to you about that, Secretary Aguilar, is why is it important and vital for us as IBEW and as building trades to be involved with our workforce in our counties?
That's a great question. I think it's vital because if nobody's speaking, if we're not speaking for ourselves, and nobody else is. And like Rick was saying earlier, is that you're going to have all these people that are out there working for the businesses, they're working for the companies, they're working for the corporations, they're working for all the folks that have it all. And nobody's fighting for labor or working for labor. In Texas, there's 28 workforce boards across the state of Texas. And in each of those workforce boards, there is at least one labor designated spot in that mix.
Yes, sir.
You're going to have employers, you're going to have educators, you're going to have labor, you're going to have a good mix of the local community set for those local workforce boards. And if we have a designated spot, that's something that we should take advantage of, because then we are going to be able to sit at the table. And as we're talking about our communities, because everybody knows what's best for their communities, not what happens across the street in Austin. They can't tell you what happens and what's good for Corpus Christi. They can't say what is the best thing for Lubbock. They don't know. They're not from there. It should be that local area that comes up with that mix of folks that come together, talking again about educators, business, labor, all coming to the table, along with many others, through that workforce board system to talk about what is going to work for our local area. So and also, I mean, the biggest thing is to have our voice, have our viewpoint, and making sure that our voice is heard. It's another opportunity for people to know who we are, for them to understand what labor is, for them to understand what union is, and how we are part of the community. We are part of the school districts or the school boards. We are part of our local PTAs, our local YMCAs, our local churches. We're part of the fabric of our local communities. And that's something that we should all be proud of and we should all take advantage of.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that, Secretary. Secretary, we really appreciate you answering our questions and taking the time. Another hat that we do wear down there in South Texas is being in the presidency of our Coastal Bend Labor Council. And with that being said, there's a lot of our brothers and sisters that are government employees with the AFGE that are in dire times right now, because with the stroke of a pen from the man that's in the White House right now has literally stripped away the collective bargaining rights for government employees. Hundreds of thousands of government employees And President Levy, I'd like to get your opinion on that current situation, because this is on the national level. We're talking about the state of Texas, but this is nationally.
This is a situation that we're allowed to just be like lay it out.
Yes, sir.
I find it amazing to believe that this current president claims to be representing working class people.
Mm-hmm.
When you strip the very basic building blocks of dignity from hundreds of thousands of workers with the stroke of your pen, when you accuse federal workers of being bloated and lazy, and you turn Elon Musk and his little tech bros loose on the very foundations of the government, when you give Elon Musk access to the most sensitive data about all of us that are carried in all the different aspects of the government, including the National Labor Relations Board, where they now have access. Everybody that's ever organized a union, where everybody that's ever voted for a union, their social security numbers, their et cetera, and you put all that and give unrestricted access to these tech bros that are trying to use that now to cut spending for their own tax breaks at the expense of working class people, and, oh, by the way, to get billions of dollars in government contracts for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on right now.
Yes.
And I think it's important that we just call it like it is.
Yes.
I know that we have folks that are really frustrated the way things are, that working people feel like they've been getting screwed for the last couple of decades, regardless of whether it's a Democrat or Republican. And I don't argue with that. I agree with that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But our way out of that is not to turn over our democracy and our government to people that don't respect our democracy and our government. And that we have to understand that true change comes when we stand with each other and we organize together for a different view of what this country and what this state can be. And that's why I'm so proud of what y'all are doing down in Corpus. Y'all are getting engaged. Y'all are having these conversations with your members. Y'all are getting involved in the workforce boards. Y'all are getting involved with your legislators over there. And I saw you over there. I saw you talking to legislators of both parties. And the message doesn't change. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, the message is, are you going to stand with workers, or are you going to stand with the other side?
Yes.
And if you're going to stand with workers, I don't care if you have a Q behind your name. We're going to work with you.
Yes, sir.
And if you're not, I don't care if you have a capital D and neon lights. I got nothing for you if you're not going to stand with us. And I think that delivering that message to folks, look, we're about jobs. We're about job training. We're about giving people a leg up. We're about a fair shot for everybody. We're about good public education. We're about dignity for every working person. And if you're with us on that, we're going to be with you.
Yes, sir. Great answer, President Levy. Great answer. And we can't stress that enough back at home to our members. We just had our meeting last night on Tuesday where I was telling them we are the voice of labor. We don't have a political party.
That's right.
We want results. If you're going to fight for us, then we're going to fight for you.
That's
Period.
it.
Period.
That's it.
And we cannot stress that enough to you, brothers and sisters. We kick ass for the working class, and we want to make sure that everybody knows that we don't choose sides. We want people that are going to fight for labor, period. And then like I said, I can't thank y'all enough for answering our questions. And is there anything else that we should cover that y'all want to discuss?
Yes. I think it's important that we need to just, acknowledge the work that you're doing, obviously,
Yes,
right? And the stuff you and your members are doing back home, because it's key. You know, we're up here, like Rick was saying, we're up here every day doing this work on behalf of teachers, on behalf of Ibew, on behalf of hotel workers, on behalf of everybody that is within our union family, and even those that aren't part of the union. Because if we're able to fight for our union folks, our affiliates, we're fighting for those that don't have a voice also. But it's important to have that. And I just want to acknowledge what you guys are doing there at back home at the local, but what the state association is doing as well. As a whole, IBW is such a foundation, such a big building block for us here at the state AFL. And it is something that I know I depend on every day. It's just a relationship with IBW as a whole. If I'm trying to get a hold of something for an issue in Corpus, or if I'm trying to talk about something in Dallas, or in Fort Worth, or over in Houston, it doesn't matter where in the state of Texas, I know I can call one of your business managers or one of your leaders in the IBW across the state, and they will pick up the phone and help us at any time. And that's something you should be proud of as being a member of IBW, and something you should be proud of is just being a union member in general. It's just knowing that that is there and you have that type of representation. So I just wanted to say that to you and all the other managers that are out there and all the other staff members that are there. We appreciate that from here, from our office, from our viewpoint, because it's hard to do this work, but it gets easier. It's easier when we know we have the support from y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can I say something?
Of course, President Levy.
I'm fixing it. All right, here's the thing. That was all good. I agree with everything you said. But the bottom line is we need more. We need more. And I'm just going to say this. The reason why we have good union contracts isn't because the boss is so nice to us.
That's right.
The reason we have good contracts is because people for decades have been struggling to build that union and build that contract so that you have the ability to live in the way that you can and bear the benefits of those contracts. Okay? And the same way, and this is where I'm putting a point on this, is that our democracy, we just assume that our democracy is going to be there for us. Brothers and sisters, it is under attack right now. The rule of law is under attack. Our ability to vote and have elections is very much hanging in the balance. And unless we do something about it, it's going to be gone. And it's on all of us to get engaged in that now. Now, here's the thing. If you're just sitting at home and you don't have a union and you see what's going on in this country and you see what's going on in this state, it is hard to make your voice heard. How do you make your voice heard as one person in this big sea of noise that's happening? But union members have a special gift. And that gift is you have a voice because you belong to something bigger than yourself. You belong to something where brothers and sisters come together and make your voice heard in a way that one person can't do it. And that's in the workplace and that's in the community. But unless you do it, unless you get involved in your union, unless you get involved with Jennifer calls and tells you to get making some phone calls and writing some letters, block walking, unless it's when it's time to enforce that contract, unless you answer the business manager's call to do what you need to do, it's all going to get wiped away. There is nothing that says if he can't wipe out collective bargaining for federal employees, he can't do it for everybody else. And unless we get serious about thinking that our democracy belongs to us and that nobody's going to take it for us, it's going to be gone. So my challenge is recommit yourself to your union, recommit yourself to your community, get involved in your Central Labor Council, get involved in all the ways you can, because with your voice, it is use it or lose it. And now is the time.
Yes, and we can't thank you enough. And we can't forget, with our brothers and sisters with our labor council, from the AFT. I mean, today is literally the day that they're voting on these school vouchers, and we're against it. We're wholeheartedly against it because what they're doing is taking money out of the public system and giving it to wealthier citizens that can already afford to send their kids to these private schools. So we stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters with the AFT, and we do not support vouchers. And we hope all of our representatives that are watching this and hopefully listening to this and hearing our voices that we do not want school vouchers in the state of Texas.
Word. Yes. Very good.
So I think we got it. I think we wrapped it.
Very good. Thank you so much, David. Yes. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you all. Thank you all
sir.
Very much.
Appreciate
really appreciate y'all. I can't thank y'all enough. And stay tuned for more. We're going to have more content coming up from different conferences and different trainings that we go to. We want to keep the local informed because it's all about transparency, brothers and sisters. Thank you again, and I hope you enjoyed.